The first episode of The Last of Us starts off with a discussion about different types of outbreaks and pandemics that occurred in the 1960s. However, the most dangerous threat is not a bacteria but a fungus called Cordyceps camponodifloridinae. This fungus has the ability to take over its host and control its actions, much like a puppet being controlled by a puppeteer. This concept sets the stage for the story and is a chilling thought to consider. The scene opens on September 26, 2003, where we are introduced to Joel and his daughter Sarah. It's Joel's birthday, but he is more focused on working a double shift, much to Sarah's disappointment. He assures her that he will be home by 9 p.m. As Sarah is leaving, she takes a watch and some cash from an upstairs drawer. Despite it being a special day, the sense of responsibility and the need for money overshadows the celebration. After school, Sarah takes the watch to a local shop to get it fixed and explains that the money was to pay for the repairs. However, while she is there, police patrol cars fly by the shop, causing the shop owner's wife to become nervous and quickly close up shop. She tells Sarah to leave, clearly frightened by the presence of the police in the area. It seems that the community is living in a state of fear and uncertainty. The scene paints a picture of a society where the police presence is overwhelming and instills fear in the citizens. After leaving the shop, Sarah stops by her neighbor's house to bake some cookies. During her visit, she has an unsettling encounter with Connie, a wheelchair-bound woman who starts to contort and twist in an awkward manner. Sarah quickly leaves the house, narrowly avoiding seeing the situation escalate. The scene creates a sense of unease and tension, leaving the audience wondering what exactly happened with Connie and what kind of danger Sarah might have been in if she had stayed longer. The scene also shows that the situation in the community is not normal and people are getting sick. After coming back home, Joel is surprised with the watch that Sarah had fixed up earlier in the episode as his birthday present. The scene is a faithful recreation of the game, and it's beautifully executed. However, later that evening, Joel's phone starts buzzing. It's his brother, Tommy, calling from Travis County Jail. He got into a fight with a man who was attacking a waitress. Now he's stuck there if Joel doesn't get him out. With a heavy sigh, Joel leaves Sarah asleep in bed and heads off to bail out his brother. This scene shows the responsibilities and difficulties that Joel faces as a father and how he has to make difficult choices to take care of his family. When Sarah wakes up and finds herself alone, she turns on the TV and sees a national broadcast instructing everyone to stay inside. Despite the warning, Sarah decides to go out and check on her neighbors. When she gets to Connie's house, she finds her on the floor, infected and being controlled by the fungus tendrils in her mouth. Sarah quickly runs out of the house when she realizes what's happening, just as Joel and Tommy arrive. This scene adds to the growing sense of danger and unease as the fungus outbreak begins to affect those closest to the main characters. It also shows how Sarah's curiosity and desire to help others put her in danger. Joel and Sarah quickly leave the house and get into their car to escape the infected area. They drive past Jimmy's house, which is completely burned up, and come across a family in need of help. This is all familiar to players of the game, as the scene is a recreation of events from the game. As they continue to drive, their plan to get out of the city quickly falls apart as they encounter more and more obstacles, including a jet plane crashing down onto the road in front of them. The scene ramps up the tension and shows how the outbreak is causing chaos and destruction in the city, making it difficult for the characters to escape safely. After regaining consciousness, Joel quickly grabs Sarah and tries to make her run for it. They are almost overrun by the infected, but just in time, a soldier shoots one of the attackers in the head, saving them. Unfortunately, Tommy is nowhere to be found, and Sarah has been injured in the crash. The soldier, following orders, prepares to shoot Joel, but just in time, Tommy returns and the situation is diffused. However, Sarah's injuries are fatal, and despite their efforts to save her, she dies. This scene brings a tragic and emotional turn to the story, and the audience is left feeling the weight of loss and grief that the characters are experiencing. It also shows the harsh reality of the outbreak and how it's affecting not only the physical safety but also the emotional well-being of the characters. The scene then jumps forward 20 years to the year 2023 in the city of Boston. A young boy wanders into town and is picked up by authorities, but it's discovered that he is infected with the fungus. He is immediately injected with a substance that kills him. His body is picked up by Joel, who now works burning bodies as a means of earning a living. He takes on whatever jobs are available and lives in a tight-knit community. The scene shows how the outbreak has affected the world over the years and how the characters are trying to survive in this new reality. It also highlights how the outbreak has changed society, with the authorities taking drastic measures to control the spread of the fungus. Joel meets with a soldier who owes him ration cards. As payment, the soldier gives Joel a supply of pills, which he claims are from Atlanta. The soldier also brings up the recent increase in tension among the soldiers due to the increased attacks from the Fireflies, a rebel group that is fighting against the government's authoritarian rule. The scene gives an insight into the current political situation and how it's affecting the characters' lives and the society as a whole. It also shows how the outbreak has changed the power dynamic, with a government that is willing to take drastic measures to control the spread of the fungus, and a group of rebels who are fighting against it. In this scene, we are introduced to Tess, a woman who is seen running out of a building that has been blown up. It's clear that the explosion is the work of the Fireflies, but there are also soldiers on the streets fighting against the rebel group. Unfortunately, the police mistake Tess for a member of the Fireflies and arrest her. This scene shows the ongoing conflict between the government and the rebel group, and how it's affecting the citizens caught in the middle. It also highlights the danger and uncertainty of living in a society where one can be easily mistaken for an enemy and taken away by the authorities. Despite everything that is happening in the world, Joel is still determined to find his brother Tommy. It is revealed that the two of them were separated earlier in the timeline. Joel is coping with this by drinking heavily and taking pills. He eventually runs into Tess again, who has been in FEDR lockup all day. Tess tells him that they need to retrieve a car battery that was sold by a man named Robert. In order to get the information they need to find Robert, get the truck, and then go and find Tommy. This scene shows Joel's determination to find his brother, and how his personal mission is affected by the ongoing outbreak and the political situation. It also highlights the difficulty and danger of their task, and how the outbreak has affected the economy and the availability of resources. In this scene, we are introduced to a new character named Ellie, who is also known as Veronica. She is being held captive by the Fireflies, who are operating within Boston. They believe that she is crucial to their salvation and plan to leave the city and head west with her. Marlene, one of the leaders of the Fireflies, releases Ellie and tells her crucial information that could change everything. As Tess and Joel are trying to find Robert, they run into Marlene and Ellie. They discover that Robert has double-crossed both groups and is lying dead on the floor. Marlene has been shot during a confrontation with Robert over the car battery. However, they find out that the battery is faulty and not useful. This scene brings together different storylines and characters and shows how their paths have intersected. It also reveals the desperate situation that all the characters are in, and how they are willing to fight for survival and resources. In the face of Marlene's injury, she suggests that Tess and Joel take over her original mission of getting Ellie out of the city. The destination is the old state house, where other Fireflies are located. Marlene promises that they will find everything they need there, including a car battery, guns, and other supplies. This scene shows how the characters are willing to work together to achieve their goals, and how their survival depends on each other. It also highlights the importance of the old state house as a sanctuary and a source of resources for the characters. Joel agrees to help Marlene, and they set out in the middle of the night to reach the old state house. Unfortunately, they are spotted by a soldier, who is the same one that Joel tried to make a deal with earlier in the episode. The soldier checks each of them for infection, but Ellie intervenes, and when the soldier points a gun at Joel, he is reminded of the traumatic moment involving Sarah, and kills the soldier without hesitation. This scene shows how the characters are willing to do whatever it takes to survive, even if it means taking a life. It also shows how the past experiences have shaped Joel's actions and decisions in the present. As they are leaving the city, it is revealed that Ellie is actually infected, but her wound is 3 weeks old and she is immune to the fungus. They drive out of the city, passing by the skyscraper, which looms over them like a giant tombstone in the eerie and rainy sky. This scene highlights the revelation of Ellie's immunity and her importance to the Fireflies, who believe she is the key to finding a cure. It also gives a sense of finality and hopelessness as they are leaving the city, and the skyscraper serves as a reminder of the devastation caused by the outbreak. Thanks for watching this episode's explanation. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you in the next video. Stay with us and take care.